Hey everyone and welcome. If you're diving into C programming, or even if you've been doing it for a while, you're about to meet your new best friend. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on C's secret weapon, its powerful set of built-in functions. Let's dive right in.
So, here's our game plan. We'll start by talking about the programmer's secret toolbox. Then we'll nail down exactly what built-in functions are. After that, we'll see a few of these tools in action, understand why they're so crucial, and finally, wrap up with how they form the foundation you build everything on.
All right, let's kick things off with our first section, the programmer's secret toolbox. To really appreciate how amazing these tools are, we first have to imagine what life would be like without them.
No, seriously, think about it for a second. Completely from scratch. No help. Just you, a blank screen, and the raw logic of the computer. Every single thing, from putting one letter on the screen to finding a square root, you'd have to invent the process for it yourself.
It would be like deciding to cook a fancy dinner, but oh wait, first you have to grow all the vegetables, raise the animals for the meat, and then go out and literally forge the pots and pans yourself. Sure, it's possible, but it's just wildly inefficient, right? You'd spend all your energy on the basics and never actually get to the creative part, the cooking.
And that's exactly the solution here. What if, instead, you could just walk into a kitchen that's already stocked with a perfect set of professional-grade tools, all ready to go? Well, that's the world C programmers live in. We don't start from an empty plot of land. We start with a fully stocked workshop.
So that brings us to Section 2. What exactly are these magical tools we're talking about? It's time to open up the toolbox and have a look inside. To put it as simply as possible, a built-in function is just a piece of code that somebody else, usually a very smart expert, has already written for us. It's a neat, self-contained solution to a super common problem, all packaged up and ready for you to use whenever you need it.
So what really defines them? Well, first off, they're pre-written and have been tested like crazy, which means they are incredibly reliable. Second, they're all bundled together in something called the C standard library. Third, each function is a specialist. It does one very specific job, and it does it really well. And finally, using one is as easy as just calling its name in your code.
So if a single function is a tool, like a hammer or a wrench, then the standard library is the master toolbox that holds all of them. It's an essential part of the C language. Every time you install a C compiler, you get this amazing toolbox right along with it, giving every single programmer the same powerful starting kit.
All right, enough theory. Let's move on to Section 3 and see these tools in action. Let's pop the hood and take a look at one of the most famous and most used functions in the entire C language.
Let's meet our first tool, printf. I love to call it the announcer because its entire job is to display information, to announce things from your program right to the user's screen. Now, it's just one of many tools. There's string length for measuring text, square root for math, but printf is almost always the first one any programmer learns.
And there it is. This one little line of code is a powerful command. You're calling the printf function, and you're handing it one piece of info, the text you want it to show. You don't have to worry about how it talks to the computer's screen or controls the pixels. You just tell it what to say. It's that simple.
So the process is really straightforward. In step 1, your code provides the input, in this case, a string of text. Then, in step 2, the printf function acts like a black box. It does all the heavy lifting behind the scenes to produce the output on the screen. But its real magic is in formatting. You can use little placeholders like %d to print out numbers, or %s for other text, which lets it handle all sorts of complex data, not just simple messages.
Okay, moving on to Section 4. We've seen the what and the how. But the real question, the most important one, is why. Why is this so crucial? Let's talk about the pillars of efficiency.
Honestly, the amount of time you save is just staggering. Writing your own function to handle screen output from scratch, wow, that could take ages to get right, to test, to debug. Now, compare that to the few seconds it takes to type printf. This isn't just a small shortcut, it's what makes modern software development even possible.
It really all comes down to 3 huge benefits. Pillar 1, it saves you an unbelievable amount of time. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, so you can focus on the unique, creative part of your project. Pillar 2, reliability. These functions have been battle-tested for decades by millions of programmers. They are rock solid. And Pillar 3, a big one, portability. Code that uses standard functions will work on different computers and operating systems with almost no changes. That's a game changer.
And that brings us to our final section. We've seen that these functions aren't just little conveniences. No, they are the absolute foundation that all complex, amazing software is built upon.
There's this great saying that using built-in functions is like standing on the shoulders of giants. And those giants, they're the pioneers of computer science who designed these incredible tools in the first place. By using their work, you get a massive head start, letting you build things that are bigger, better, and far more ambitious than you ever could alone.
So, at the end of the day, think of these functions as the Lego bricks of the programming world. They're simple, they're super reliable, and they're incredibly powerful. Learning how to use them is the first step. The next step, the really exciting one, is up to you. What amazing thing will you build? Thanks so much for joining this explainer.